All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, our two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of. Which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, who the world of ignorance calls Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai. Second of all, I want to give the honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, and on down that rule well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson, or however long the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video Gold Hits All-Time High. All right, slash fiat currency is done. All right, and Lord Willis Brothers, since you're on the screen, I have this article here from the Wall Street Journal, and it says gold hits new record on trade war concerns. All right, so it says gold prices soared to a fresh record high in the afternoon trade, reaching a peak of $3,124.40 a trade ounce, as concern over global trade tensions and uncertain economy outlook spur safe haven demand. Futures now trade at 0.7% higher at $3,111.80 a trade ounce, and are up nearly 3% on the week. The gold rally is not quite over yet, says Barbara Limburch, however you pronounce that, commodities and analyst, researcher. We consider gold to be, what was that? Okay, it says we consider gold to be well supported for the time being, especially as next week's potential disappointing U.S. economy indicators, and it's going to be very disappointing, could strengthen hopes of more interest rate cuts by the Feds. Meanwhile, the latest U.S. data shows the PCE price index in Federal Reserve preferred gauge of inflation rose to 2.5% in 12 months through February, still above the central bank's 2% target. All right, and then the rest of it just goes in about copper and all of that. So, yeah, again, and you can see also right here, stocks, everything's in the red. Everything's in the red except for the U.S. 10% yield, yield or whatever. All right, but everything else is in the red. Okay, gold is up, Bitcoin is down, crude oil is down, dollar index down. All right, so for the most part, everything concerning the markets is down. All right, but yeah, man. Again, this is a sign, and I'm gonna pull it up again, so I can pause it real quick. All right, Salakia. And Lord Willis Brothers can see on the screen. I just did a simple Google search, which I did in the last video when I was speaking on this topic about gold rising. What does it mean for the dollar when gold prices rise? And it says when gold prices rise, it generally signifies a weakening of the U.S. dollar. All right, as gold is often seen as a safe haven asset and a hedge against currency devaluation, and that's what's going on. The currency is being devalued at a rapid rate, and that means it's going to take more dollars to buy goods. All right, so basically meaning inflation is about to go through the roof. All right, and we're well on our way to hyperinflation, which is priced in dollar denominations. Markets tend to move inversely with the dollar's value. All right, so and this is an example here. It says a weakening dollar makes it cheaper for foreign investors to buy gold, increasingly demand and driving up the prices. All right, so again, gold prices is going through the roof. All right, and they're higher in other places. All right, for America and here in Babylon, it's still $3,000 ain't cheap, well, not to me anyway. That's not cheap. All right, but in certain other places, gold is skyrocketing. All right, and all the central banks or whatever is buying it up. All right, but yeah, you know, this is bad for the U.S. dollar. extremely bad for the US dollar and for the American consumer, because your real deal about to be choked out. All right, which is all the plan, because we're getting ready to go to the next system. All right, which will be a complete and utter digital money system, which will require you to take the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast is the microchip technology. Regardless of what anyone tells you or what anyone says, the mark of the beast is the microchip technology. All right, which we're super close to. All right, right around the corner. All right, this Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. That mark, look it up in the Greek, is charagma, which means to make a cut or an incision in the flesh. They're going to cut open your flesh with a needle and inject the microchip inside your body. All right, in their right hand or in their forehead. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, and that signifies a cashless society, because there's going to be no alternatives. Either you're going to have this microchip, all right, or you're not going to buy and sell anything. All right, the dollar will be no good. All right, like the scriptures say, they should cast. Let's get that. They're going to be casting their silver and the gold in the streets. All right, why? Because it'll be worthless. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 19, and they should cast their silver in the streets, and the gold should be removed. All right, the gold and silver that we use, all right, is Federal Reserve notes, debit cards, credit cards, coins, nickels, or what have you. That gold should be removed, and their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. And they should not satisfy their soul, neither feel their bowels, because it is a stumbling block for their iniquity. Right, so like I said in Revelation, the 13th chapter, it spoke about not being able to buy and sell unless you have the mark. So that means that, again, physical currency has to go. All right. And with the prices of gold rising, that signifies a weakening dollar. All right. Which is, has already lost like an extreme amount of its purchasing power. All right. A weakening dollar, which again means it's going to cost more to buy goods. And eventually the dollar is going to be declared completely and utterly worthless. All right, and we see Trump pushing for a cashless society. All right, with the pushing out of pennies, nickels, and the other coins are going to be next. And eventually certain dollars, ones and fives or whatever is going to be next. All right, and then he's signing off on every legislation to make cryptocurrency legal tenure or whatever. All right, so he's doing everything, any and everything, to push digital currency, which we know eventually will lead to the mark of the beast. You having to take a microchip in your hands or your forehead in order to buy and sell things. All right, so he's working tirelessly pushing that. All right, as a matter of fact, I was watching Richie from Boston, and I actually missed that article. I got to go on the whitehouse.gov.com, their website, the White House website, which Trump has just signed something. All right, pretty much making it where, no more physical cash soon is to be allowed. All right, something to that effect. Lord will, if I find it, I'm going to do a lesson on it. But the White House just signed off on it a couple of days ago. All right, actually. And no mainstream media coverage on it. It was on the whitehouse.gov or whatever. All right, which, again, the guy, Richard from Boston, was speaking on it. And if I can find it, Lord will, I'm going to do a lesson on that. But, yeah, we're seeing the devaluation of the dollar. That's why gold is going up, and eventually the dollar is going to be completely and utterly worthless. All right, you won't be able to use it to buy anything, and eventually you'll have to have the mark of the beast, which is the microchip technology. All right, so can I read the rest of it? So I can I'm gonna read it again. Ezekiel 7:19, and they should cast their silver in the street, and the gold shall be removed. So I can. And their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. And it should not satisfy their soul, neither fear their bowels, because it is a stumbling block for their iniquity. All right. So yeah, the modern day silver and gold, which even though silver and gold is obviously still around, all right, but the so-called silver and gold that we use today is fiat currency, all right, which is being pushed out rapidly. All right. So Yeah, this place days are numbered, man. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadashi, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you, brothers that push this truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.